Trying to stay with us, see how our guest, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, who was helping us understand why men need to release every 72 hours. Please, break it down.
So, like I was saying, there are different ways to do it.
But I always tell them on this table, sir, that the GO doesn't release every 72 hours. I'm very sure.
Okay, so we go into a lot of... So, let's not... We may get to that point, but you see, so every 72 hours, the sac is full and there's the need for a release.
Okay.
So that's why when people are married, it's very, very important for them to have a strong, healthy, sexy, sexual life. So that means that at least once or twice in a week, there should be release. So now, but where the problem now comes in is there's what we call sexual libido. Some people have low sexual libido, some people have high sexual libido. They will now talk about sexual libido compatibility and management. So that's another thing. But you see, the other aspect is that a lot of women, they don't realize that when you get married, as a man or as a woman, your marriage is where you are supposed to express all your sexual fantasy.
No shame.
So when I marry you, you are supposed to be Mommy Gio, and you're also supposed to be Badi Gio.
Okay.
So, but when you now come into the marriage, when the Bible says marriage is honorable, bed undefiled, it means that whatever two people that are married decide to do, mutually agree that in this way, this is what we want to do, that is their life. There is no defilement there. But when people get married, because a lot of pastors and a lot of religious leaders has given them their own personal preference and personal experience as a doctrine, people now go into marriage and they want to fast and pray. Say, Lord, this thing we're about to do, this thing we're about to commit. As if when they are having sex, the omnipresent God is not there. God that created sex. Sometimes I tell my wife, I say, this God is mighty. So you mean God sat down, he created this thing. It means that God wants our life to be sweet. Because that is the kind of, we don't see God in that life. We are doing as if we are more holy than God. So a lot of women don't allow their husband to express their fantasies. I'm talking of normal fantasy. I'm not talking of madness or no. So when you now want to do it, say no, let's do it this way. Most people is just missionary style. Where did you see it in the Bible or any that this is the way it must be done? So by the time you are now asking for variety, at the end of the day they say no, then your fantasy will now lead you to want to go and explore.
Sometimes men always assume that women don't want, because they don't see that women like that. They don't, because she's now a mommy of children. No. So they don't see her in that light.
Let's now go to that aspect of mommy. Now, see, a lot of women also need to understand this. When you are not married, you dress well, you look good, you look fantastic. But by the time you now marry, you now think, I don't settle. I'm not going to show.
There's house management, there's children management, there's even children. Women are even doing car management these days. Women are doing community.
That is not an excuse.
How many people can be going to do facials every day?
No, nobody saying do facials. But that's not an excuse not to be intentional about spicing up your marriage. Because we are talking about the problem that it has led to. You just come, so I'm leaving home in the morning. If you are not living with me, I'm living in the morning, you are with rapper. So the first
sexy, sir, please, so, matter.
No. Sexy to who? So you are, where is the negligee? Where is the nightgown? Where is the lacy stuff? So I'm living what as pastor? That's the problem. I am a human being. What is pastor? I am a pastor and so on. So now I leave home in the morning. The picture I see is not exciting. Then I go to the work, I see people pushing it up, coste, panic everywhere, billboard everywhere. I go through all that emotional torture. I return in the night again. You are a maxi. You are a maxi with spoon in your hand.
Let me go. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Philip from Magodo, thanks for calling. You are live.
In Morayo and the ladies. I have 2 questions for Dr. Olumide.
Please.
He said something that you are a slave to your commitment. How can you be a slave to a killer? Then the second one, to love a perfect person. How can you love a killer? Because marriage of nowadays, you see spouses, wife killing husband and killing wife. Is that at least a few years ago, you can hear about a gospel singer that was killed by her husband. Is that why should somebody stay in a violent environment? You know, I've been married for over 2 decades, and I know what women are. At least Yoruba normally says that, you know, at times you see that women will be the husband in the house. They like to take control, and the man may not like that. So I want him to elaborate on this. You are a slave to your commitment. I can't be a slave to a killer. Okay. Again, in my own days, I came from a polygamous house. Apart from my other wives my father has, he has side chicks, and they do come to the house. And the other wives, they can't say anything. Nowadays, a man and a woman, and the man has a side chick, the man is dead already. Because the woman will not take it easy with the man. It's either he poison him or he kill him spiritually or emotionally. No? Thank you very much.
So you have offloaded about 3 different. So let me see if I can quickly deal with the one of them. When I say you are a slave to your choices and your decisions, it simply means once you make a decision, whatever comes with the decision, you need to know that you have to be ready. If you are walking around, taking buses, taking BRT, and one day you say, look, I want to buy a car. The very minute you buy a car, everything that comes with car, fueling car, going to mechanic, if you are in traffic, you have to see that you can't abandon your car. If you are in bus, you can come back. That is what I mean. So if you decide to get married, the very way you get married, inside marriage, there's responsibility, there's forgiveness, there are challenges, there will be children, there will be fees to pay, bills to pay. You have to be ready to pay. You can't get married and say, I'm not going to do that. Inside marriage, there is sex, there is food. You cannot say, I don't do sex, I don't want to have sex. No, you have married. You have to know what comes with it. Then the second thing you said is, how do you marry a killer? You did not marry a killer. You married someone you love. If the person was a killer, you would not have married them. But when you got married to them, something happened, and you now discover things that are contrary to your expectation. At that point, you deal with that issue. If you need to go for counseling, you need to go for coaching, you need to do psychotherapy counseling, you deal with it in order to say how you can solve it. And then the third aspect of women are this or whatever. Side chicks. You see all this, I don't know why. You see, your parents that you said your father is a polygamy. If you are a polygamist and you want to marry somebody that is okay with that. We have Nima on this table that already knows that, okay, this is my belief. So if it's going to come, it's part of the package. So when you are marrying a woman, let her know, babe, I love you, but I believe in multiple wives. So we may get to a point I need to marry another one. No problem. If she's okay, she's okay. But you cannot marry somebody with a monogamous vision and then shift the goalposts along the way and expect her to now accept you. Because you see, the best way to think is there's what we call the golden rule and the platinum rule. Do unto others as you want to be done unto you. If your wife shows up tomorrow with a guy and say, this is my side cock, how will you feel? Because men, sometimes when they say some of these things, it seems as if they don't listen to themselves. And these are the issues why we say you need to be a kingdom man, so that those kind of software will not be operating.
Coming from a man. Thank you.
Okay, so Efrain Falake sent this and said that men don't post their wife on social media, they don't take their wife out on dates, they don't spend quality time. So is there any justification in any form for a man to cheat?
No. Now, let me go to this social media. You see, the world has become, why must I post you on social media?
But they post their side chicks sometimes.
I don't know about that. That's why I'm not against, I'm not in support of all these sides. So why must I be posting? Because sometimes you need to understand that many of these things we are talking about, we are talking to the whole world though. Yeah. We are talking, so some people are listening to us right now, they are teenagers. Some are listening to their young couple. Some are listening to their grandparents. So you mean now, at 65, 70, it's social media that is my problem. So for a young person, maybe that's your generation, it makes you feel good. What is the purpose of posting you on social media and punching you out?
So that the chick will, side chick will not say they did not know that he's married. Because some people will say they don't know.
There is no reason that is tenable for anybody to be a cheat or to have a side chick, but there is no reason for that.
People that know they are your wife, they know they are happy. They are happy. Because maybe the next day they don't be on social media.
Social media is a fake life.
There's any justification.
There's no justification for having anything outside.
Let me take Joshua. Joshua, thanks for calling. You're live.
Pastor Daniel.
Pastor Manuel.
Pastor Daniel.
Pastor Daniel. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
Okay. All right. Please, I have the former caller that called. I have an answer to some of the answer to what he said. He said, how can somebody marry a killer? First of all, what the man of God in the studio said was, if you want to get married, involve the creator that made you. Because God cannot give you what will kill you tomorrow. Most of the marriages now, they are all for emotions and feelings. And you see some girls, they will come home with a man. When the dad is talking, they say, no, daddy, I love him. I like it. I love him. I love him. and they don't want to go deeper to know about that person in prayers. So that is what the first point for the first man that called, the former caller.
Okay.
Then, on the man of God, there is something he said earlier at the starting of the program that somehow I don't want to agree with. He said that when someone is married and then children begins to come, the man becomes a second class in the marriage. I think he said something like that. I don't so much believe that. I believe that everybody has their position. As a father, as a mother, as a wife, as a husband, have a place for your children and have a place for your husband. Your children should not take the position of your husband. Your husband should not take the position of your children. Likewise, the man also. I've seen some men that love their children more than their wife. And some women love their children more than their husband. That is very wrong. Every one of them has to have their position in the marriage so that they can balance the equation.
Okay.
So that's my contribution.
Right.
I'm going to ask him a question.
Yeah, no, it's his views. That's why we're here. It's your view. Let it count. But like I said earlier on, I'm telling you, I was talking about the fact that in marriage, you should be expecting the past, the present, and the future. You see, the ideal is different from the real. My wife, I love my wife fantastically. My wife loves me supernatural. It's an amazing marriage. But I will not deceive myself. I know that when some things are down, the child will. So I'm okay with it, because what is my problem with a woman loving my son or my child? Do you understand? As long as she's not depriving me of things that makes the marriage work. So you can say, okay, because many times, look, listen. That's why I say to people, love your wife. Love your wife to a level where she can always choose you above children anytime. And because at the end of the day, many of the men of today that are not loving their wife, it is when they are old that they will suffer into. Your harvest time is waiting for you, because men don't do a mugo.
Okay, let me
So by the time they leave you and begin to go to Canada, 6 months, you will now become old man living alone.
Okay, so culturally, women have been taught that for you to be modest, you shouldn't talk about money, right?
And sex.
You should talk about money, you shouldn't talk about sex. And then you see it becomes an issue where you find out that before couples marry, they discuss like their genotype, their health issues, they discuss, you know, every other thing but their finances. They don't want to touch on, the woman feels so scared to ask the man, okay, how much are you earning? What's our financial plan? Where are we going to live? What can we afford? You know, what's the plan?
Job interview.
No, there's no job interview, but you know, it's important to know his ideas about how he manages his funds and stuff like that. Why is that women have been culturally trained not to discuss money, or that when you discuss money, you're no longer a modest woman? Okay.
That's why we're saying that you have to now move into kingdom marriage. You see, everything you have said is culture and tradition, and it's contemporary things that are not aligned. You see, marriage is an institution. It's the only school where you collect certificates on the day of resumption. Marriage is the school where there's no graduation. In every school, there are lectures and classes. So what lecture and class did you go for? So I have said it forever. I have discovered that the major challenge we have today is ineffective courtship. A lot of marriages that exist today should never have existed. So we say what God has done together, let a man put us on. That many of the marriages God didn't join.
Okay, let me pause you, sir, because I have callers been holding for a while. Dio, thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Dr. Olumide, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And I want to really thank you for sharing your story with on Dr. Pastor Kingsley's program. I watched that interview. It really gave me, that's what your story is a replica of what I'm also going through. And it really gave me an way on what to do. And I believe that most men, if they should start sharing your story of what they are going through, it's really going to give a lot of people, a lot of other men on how to go about some things. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. So